And we are going to immediately get that Rampage ban out from Asura, even though
Of
they do
course.
have the first pick in this game.
Yeah, maybe they just don't want to pick the Rampage. Maybe their jungler's not too comfortable on it. But he's definitely one of the stronger heroes that needs to be banned away or picked by Asura so that they don't have those same issues again. Guile in response banned the Sevarog, so we're removing those two power picks. I'll see what junglers come out now. Grux.
Interested seeing the
Yeah.
Grux for Asura Rage. I don't
Hmm.
really think of this
Very
as a
early
first
pickup.
pick.
Same. There's a lot of power picks you give away by picking the Grux. I guess they want to definitely establish jungle. We did see it banned away from them last time, so maybe it's a strong pick for their jungler, perhaps. Not too sure. I'm not too sure on Asura's jungler. Moxplode. But I presume the Grux must be a comfort pick for him.
Well, we'll see how comfortable it is in this game. Meanwhile, Guile Esports, they've picked up the Quang. Not too much of a surprise there. With the Sevarog being taken out, Quang becomes one of the most potent offlaners or solo lanes available in the game. And they're going to go for their Revenant once again.
Yep, Revenant, a very strong pickup. Very, very snowbally, as I said. And Quang, yeah, he's definitely very strong. He's a good counter into the Sevarog. I'm not sure what Asura will run into it. We have had a lot of success on EU with Crunch into Quang, for example. Does rather well, but we'll have to see what actually works against the Quang here. He's a very strong offlane pick. He can win his 1v1 very hard. He's very good at rotating for fights. All around a very strong pick. We'll actually see Asura pick up Gideon.
I almost
Okay.
feel like we're going to see Epi Picker go for steal once again, even though it didn't do too great in the last game. I feel like he's just very happy with playing steal in the solo lane matchup.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. The steal was a bit of an off pick in the solo lane. He definitely doesn't really win in most cases. He's more used for his team fight potential. I wonder if we'll see it again. I'm not too sure. It's very good with the Gideon. Gideon's a very, very strong pickup here. If they are going to go for the AoE sort of team fight style again, with his, of course, new stun on his ultimate, so he could be very good for mid lane there and then steal in the off lane. But we'll have to see what else they could pick up. Other considerations are pretty much crunch, and then you start to run out of options really if Revenant picked away as well by Guile. Actually running out of extra time here.
Yeah, they're definitely getting low on it, and it is going to be that crunch that you were
And there it
asking
is.
for.
Yeah, the crunch is very strong into the Quang. He has very powerful early spikes. When he hits level 5, he gets his very powerful CC of his uppercut. So he'll start to win the matchup at that point against Quang and actually win his 1v1. His rotations are weaker, so you have to primarily see him as the 1v1 split push matchup from the crunch. That's the normal way you'd have to run it. In response from Gal, I presume, yeah, we'll see Zinx picked up here. So she hadn't been picked away yet. So that plus the Revenant is a very strong lane, and if they do get ahead, then yeah, they're going to definitely snowball quite heavily with that. Guile definitely liking the more early focused heroes to then snowball towards mid to late game.
It occurs to me that we don't actually have a snowball type hero in Paragon, like the guy who rolls into a snowball and beats you. Like we have snowballs in other games, but while you can't snowball in Paragon, you can't actually become a snowball.
True. True.
Very important things to talk about,
Very true.
guys.
Very important.
This is the
Yes.
quality commentary that you come to the PCL for. Guile Esports will pick up the Fae with their fourth pick as he. Well, we talked about how the Fae is a lane winner this time around. He was forced to play the Gideon last time around, and this time the roles are switched.
Yeah, so they opted to pick the Gideon away and have the other side of the matchup. I tend to prefer more of the Faye side of the matchup. She tends to win lane a bit harder and gets to rotate more. But Gideon definitely has the more impactful ult when it's actually pulled off correctly. So we'll have to see how that matchup goes the other way around, basically. And we see Drongo and Narbash picked up. I haven't seen a Drongo in forever.
It has been
Definitely
quite
a
a
niche pick.
while. I kind
Hmm.
of like the pickup still. I think it's still very strong. I think his utility is great as well. I'm still looking at this matchup, and I'm wondering how effective Idek is going to be on whatever hero he ends up getting here, because he was really the player that made the matchup last time around for Guile. He was so aggressive in the early game, and he
Yeah.
really made it so that Guile Esports were able to get a great early advantage.
Yeah, definitely. I want to see when he actually does pick up here. They could always swap Quang to jungle if they feel it's bad into the crunch, but I feel like, yeah, there's the Wukong. I was wondering if this was going to come out, the Wukong jungle. Very powerful pick at the moment, and very, very potent with the new stun he's got in his kit. So, yeah, I guess we'll see it run by Guile here.
All right, well, we do have the replay ID up, but we're going to take a little bit to actually get into it. So taking a look at this draft blood, again, I'm going to ask you, which team is going to come out on top of this matchup?
I definitely think Guile again have a very, very powerful comp, but it is very early game reliant. If they're not going to get off their feet quickly, I do feel that the more frontline heavy Grux, Gideon, Crunch sort of style is going to start to roll over them a bit and definitely establish something. But Guile definitely again, I think the stronger comp. They've got that Quang off lane, they've got the Zinc support, and I do feel they're a bit more favored in this regard.
I'm just looking at Guile Esports' lineup, and I feel like they have a lot of different ways to deal with what Asura Rage are going to be dealing here. I mean, you have the Black Hole, but it should be pretty easy for Guile Esports to stun them out of it. You got the Narbash Crash Bang Boom, and I still think it's going to be easy for Guile to deal with. It just seems like there's too much here that Guile have an answer for.
Yeah, exactly. Guile have a lot of answers for whatever Asura want to throw at them, and I'm just not too sure about the Drongo in this regards. There were still some decent carry picks open. They could have opted for the Wraith carry. That would have been quite nice with their comp, but they opted for the Drongo for the more tower pressure and stuff. So if they do get ahead early, they will take objectives a little easier and such. But I do feel it's definitely overall a bit more of a weaker comp due to the dual lane.
All right, are you ready to go, Blood?
Almost. I am literally just loaded in. Yep, I'm ready.
All right, well, you heard the man. We are ready to see game number 2 of this best of 3 semifinal. Let's start up in 3, 2, 1, go. Chat, you're looking pretty cute here. I think Blood is sounding cute as well. And we are here in game number 2 between Asura Rage and Guile Esports. Let's start by introducing the Dusk side. We've got Idic. He's going to be playing a Quang, Lucer. On the things once again, we've got Regal, going to be playing the Monkey Man, Wukong. Ghost, playing a Revenant. And then finally, Azzy Bear on the mid lane, Faye.
Yep, and on the Dawn side, we will have Grux in the jungle by Moxplode. We'll have Ninja in the mid lane, Gideon. Appy Picker playing an off lane Crunch. Ufel on the Drongo carry, and Book Sinkerman playing Narbash on support.
So what are the keys to the early game for each team here?
So we definitely need some dual lane pressure on the side of Asura if they hope to get ahead due to the Drongo pick and play a bit more around that. Unfortunately, being on the Dawn side, the jungler's not able to assist as much, so we'll have to see if Moxplode does play a bit more towards his weaker side. I have just noticed, yes, Rico is on the off-lane Wukong, which is interesting. I expected this to actually be a jungle Wukong, is what I've seen more traditional from scrims and from EU in general. But Crunch should definitely win that matchup early, so Moxplode may not have to tend to that lane so much, and we might see a bit more of the 3v3, 4v4 brawl around the Fangtooth side of the map.
Yeah, you definitely see Appy trying to take advantage of his position in this lane quite early. So with Crunch winning the lane so hard, what are Regal's goals here? Does he really just look for levels, or how much farm does he need to get out of this? Oh, meanwhile, Azzy.
Oh, 1v1.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the power of the Fae. This is why I prefer in the laning phase in mid lane in general. She has much more presence with the spammable harvest nettles. And yeah, if she just gets this early lead, she's going to constantly shove in this lane. And they're going to have a bit more Fangtooth control because of that and put a lot more pressure onto this Drongo that's not really going to get to make full use of his kit if they keep the pressure up.
Meanwhile, Idic was looking for a gank himself over on the duo lane, but walking right underneath the ward makes it so that all these rotations are just very difficult to have actually work. Idic goes for Moxplode's black buff here, and he's going to pick up Azzy in his way. He's going to pick up the shield as well, and that's going to be an easy kill on the Fae, just getting a bit caught up in that one. And then Ninja's going to go for the surround. Lucer getting low. Moxplode's going to fall as well before the smash and grab actually goes. Judgment of the Heavens goes out on the Book Sinkerman. He's going to fall. Look at this pressure again from Idic, creating kills for his team. Ghost really needs to get this kill on the Book, but he's missing every single shot. Now he will end up falling, but Ufel's going to find a kill there as Ninja finds one on the backside as well. Asura Rage came out on that a little bit better thanks to their amazing rotations.
Yeah, that was really, really well played by Asura. Very quick rotations, and Moxbo got an amazing grab off. Really well played by him reacting to that invade there. I thought that was going to go really bad for them. But Asura definitely showing the early game power of Grux there with his grab and his CC. I think Moxbo definitely MVP of that fight. And yeah, great turnaround. That's really going to help them on the map now. I do like with what Guile have been doing in these games with their very early pressure oriented sort of strategies where they're grouping up a lot early and invading jungle and such. It's definitely giving them a lot of early benefits, but that one did go pretty poorly for them. And we actually see 2 stealth buffs now in mid lane
Everybody's
looking for
being
Azzy.
sneaky on the mid lane. They're going to drop the rocks on top of him. Well,
Oh,
now the Fae doesn't have a good way of getting away from that one, so it's going to be an easy kill for Asura there. And they just got a little bit lucky with the double Shadow Plane buff.
yeah, definitely didn't expect that. Azzy maybe knew something was up, so he stayed back a bit, but that wasn't enough. The Gurk's grab pulls him away from the tower. Very clean combos from both the Gideon and himself. And in fact, Gideon's looking to make a rotation off of this too.
He's still at level 3
Not
though, so we'll see
5.
if it's going to be as effective as he might like. Lucer will be able to get back with the nice field that he put down. Ghost trying to back away after that Thunk goes down, and I think that both teams are just going to have to stop there, as Ghost and Lucer have gotten underneath their own tower. Asura Ridge can't really go too much further than that one here in the early game, and they still need to get some levels right now.
Yeah, indeed. They need that Gideon to get back to mid lane here safely. There we go, and he does do so, so he can now hold this wave here. So again, we'll see the Fae pressure come out here, and we'll see if she can make a rotation soon to the duo lane, because yeah, Asura definitely got the pressure here now with their duo lane pushing up exactly what they want to do with the stronger pick, and actually keeping the Revenant at bay. So as long as they can keep this Revenant down, especially when he hits level 5, he won't become too much of a problem. But we'll have to see.
Appy
Maybe
Picker gets to level
Wukong.
5 first, and he's trying to put some huge damage on the Regal. We'll get the Staff of Legend to make him go away, but that was... This is a crunch starting to get pretty scary up against a Monkey who's already behind.
Yeah, the crunch pick is definitely very strong in the lane, beats the Quang. I really didn't expect Wukong to be run into it, who's going to struggle even more early. If he does start to... Oh, someone died
Yeah, that's okay.
by Moxblood.
I caught him this time.
It happens. Yeah, but if we see this Wukong definitely get some levels and items under his belt, he will become a strong split push pressure. He will beat the crunch at that stage, but it's whether Asura can actually use early pressure to then snowball into something more, so that Appy Picker can actually be enabled on the crunch and not let Regal ever come online with the Wukong pick.
Regal as a player, he has a very good understanding of when to get involved in the team fights. From the solo lane, he knows when to make the rotation runs on map. He's very strong at being able to work with the rest of his team. So this early start is hurting him a little bit here. He's having a bit of a... He's going to have more of a difficult time really like being able to get involved in the fights, but I'm interested in when he actually gets to the point where he can do that while also keeping the pressure on the lane.
Yeah, it's usually pretty hard for Wukong to teamfight at the moment. The stun is much stronger if he gets a good flank and a pushback. He can essentially pull off what is a Severog ultimate. So he can be very, very potent at the moment in teamfights due to that change to his displacement. But I still don't know if it makes him worthwhile enough to rotate when he can just take down towers as quick as he does. When he does get to the stage, probably more towards his 3rd stage ultimate, where he really will shred towers and he gets a couple items online possessed and one of a key card, he'll usually look to shred these towers pretty quick, so he should be able to push in the crunch and beat him. But we'll have to see. Maybe Appy has an answer for it in that he matches the 1v1, or he's able to shuffle the lane and rotate and then force the Wukong to come into a rotation, because crunch is definitely going to benefit more in a team fight with the amount of CC he can put out with all the stuns and the slows due to the changes to his kit. We actually see an engagement on duo maybe here.
Yeah, they're running right over a ward though, so it's not like Guile Esports have no idea this is happening. Lucer gets a ricochet out on the Moxload, making sure that he's not able to get the initiation off, and that's just some very clear thinking from Guile Esports once again.
Yeah, this is very well played so far from Asura, looking for the pressure. Same idea what Guile were doing, constantly rotate these 4 over to the duo lane, try and get a pick so they can do the Fangtooth. But, well, Guile read it like a boat. They had the wards up, and Lewis set up a very nice ricochet, gives a clean disengage, and they're able to escape from that. Might see Iduck, the stealth buff, see what he does with that.
He's still trying to get some pressure on the map, but Asura are playing with the buddy system right now, making sure that none of them are on the map by themselves, or at least if they are, they're in a safe position. We'll see if Guile can turn this into a Fangtooth, but they really just want to try to make sure that they can get the pick off before they do that.
Yeah, they're actually looking to siege up this T1 here. They actually brought Azzy over,
Yep.
and
Ida
they
comes
have
around the
got a
backside
lot of
as
members
well.
here around the
Lucer
back.
takes the tower
Yeah,
aggro, but Idic's going to get the judgment onto Yufel. Needs a little bit more help to get the kill, but Book Synchrom is going to get caught out. He's going to be the
oh, but
first one to
Sinkerman.
fall in this tower, as he will take some damage from the tower, but it's going to be a pretty
That's
easy
Revenant.
reckoning into kill from Ghost. Now, are they going to be able to get a little bit more? Ninja comes in, but he's not going to be able to get the black hole off. He's been stunned out by the Wukong. Regal getting the rotation in for this one, and Guile Esports have a pretty good position around this one, even though they haven't taken down the tier 1
Happy
tower just
Picker.
yet. Appy Picker comes in, will get stunned by Wukong. Idix trying to go man mode against him, will get knocked up in the air. Here comes a black hole. It hits on the 2 from
Oh,
Ninja, and some great damage from Moxblood as well. Regal's gonna be chunked down as the monkey. He needs to run away. Gonna get the pushback on the Moxblood. Ninja falls. Idix is tanking up a lot of damage at this point. Moxblood trying to go for the double pain, but the smash and grab is going to miss. Lucer in the middle of everything now. So is Ghost. He needs to find some damage with the Revenant, but he's got a Grux smacking him in the face. Here comes Book Synchroman. Asura Rage are finding all of the kills here, and they get 4 down. Regal's the lone one to make it back to base, but that's going to be an open Fang Tooth for Asura, and it looks like they're going to take this one down easily.
amazingly well played by Asura there, and we're seeing why the Grux was banned away from Moxblood in game 1 and why it was first pick material here. He's doing absolute work on this pick, way more than he did in the Severog. He's creating team fights, and he just made amazing picks off there. They got a great AoE off of the Black Hole from Ninja there, and able to just clean up the fight. It was really, really clean play from themselves, and the Grux outputs so much damage from jungle when he has his ultimate on the Warlord's Challenge, so yeah, very, very well played by Asura. They're very clean fighting. They get the Fang Tooth off of it, so they'll look to replicate what Guile pulled off in game 1 here, just on the other side.
Yep, trying to keep that aggression going after the Fang Tooth. It was such a beautiful black hole from Ninja as well that set up the nice Dark Rift over the top. And and he gets the black hole there as well. It was just some amazing play, and it comboed so well with Moxblood's Grux.
Yeah, it was really well played. Those two definitely stood out in that fight. And it was looking bad because Revenant just got a kill with his ultimate and just started to get that snowball rolling. But wow, well, this invade by Moxblood.
Yep, he'll be able to get the green buff for himself and knock up Idic as well, getting aggressed on inside his own jungle. They're going to throw out the Thunk and silence him as well. Can Idic get away? Old Rusty is chasing him down, tries to get the Fury of Heavens for the juke, but it was just so well planned out by Asura Rage. Book Thinkerman goes in for the Crash Bang Poo, but here comes Azzy with a beautiful fly trap on the backside of it, and he's going to get cleaned up anyway, though, because it seems like Asura Rage are too tanky for this one. Lucer is going to try to tank up a little bit of damage on his own. Ninja going for the kill on the Ghost, drops a rock on top of him. That's going to be enough. Or not enough just yet. Appy Picker will finally get the golden gloves out for the kill. Now Moxblood looking for another smashing ramp. Gets it onto Lucer. Book Tinkerman throws in a Thunk as well. Just throws everything on into the frying pan. And Asura Rage will be able to find another one. Regal trying to help as much as possible. But now only the monkey is going to be alive once again. He's been just wondering why his team keeps on dying around him. And he might be a little bit sad about it as well.
Wow, that was quite a mouthful there, but yeah, it was an amazing fight by Asura Rage there. Again, they're just replicating exactly what Guile did. This Dawnside gameplay from both teams has been exactly just similar. It's just constantly invade this dual lane side jungle, and they just put all the pressure on there, and they're making an excellent job out of it. They've had a lot of luck with these stealth buffs coming out here. Moxblood has done work with them, but they got the good initial engage of it, but Sinkerman got a good Narbash ult off at the end there. And yeah, that was a really good fight. They cleaned up the kills very efficiently. So definitely going to get this lead rolling, and we'll have to see what they do with it next.
It feels like right now Asura Rage have something in the playbook for every single kind of situation. Now Yufel is going to get gone on by Ghost with the Obliterate coming through and that Gag Grenade. It looks like Ghost is going to fall for that aggression. Now the Judgment of the Heavens is going to do some work for Idic as the Fury of the Heavens comes on through as well. But Idic is going to get stunned out by the Thunk. Ninja gets into the fight as well. Yufel had to be careful. He is probably pretty low. I believe he's bugged out right now. But still Asura Rage are going to turn around for the twofer. And again, it seems like they have something in the playbook for every single situation this game. As he might find himself taken down on the mid lane, but Moxblood is just passing on by, decides to show his beautiful Grux pelt, and as he wants to try to make sure that Moxblood knows that he really shouldn't be on the mid lane too much right now. Believe that Blood might be having some issues with the audio, so we'll just keep it on going. Fang Tooth going to get started by Asura Rage here, as Ghost is going to watch on, probably doesn't want them to take this too much at all. The Fake comes in from the backside, getting some great damage on the book. This is making the Fang 2 so difficult for Asura to take, but they went in a bit too far. There's a black hole from Ninja on the backside into a smash and grab from Moxplode. Bramble Patch will go down for Mazzy, and that's probably going to be taken down like Grux, but I think he might be working with a little bit too little right now. Blit Rush over the top. Is it going to be enough to create some space for his team? Now finally Regal gets in the fight, and he's going to take down one as well. It's a very close fight from both sides, but the Fangtooth was still taken by Asura Rage. We'll just go ahead and fix some of these bugs here for you, as seems like we still don't have Blood Mortius. Actually, hold that thought, as he's going for some... He's invisible right now. We're just trying to use our detective work as much as possible here, guys, as we will try to fix the bugs in a second. But yeah, what a game from both of these teams. Really coming into this one, game number 2, with every single last bit of strength they have. Asura Rage don't want to fall into the God. They want to show that they're really a team that you don't want to mess with here. Okay, update. An OP was taken. We tried to get back into the replay at the point in time where we crashed, but it crashed again for both of us. So, and Orb Prime was taken, and Fangtooth is about to respawn. Let's take a quick look at the scoreboard to show you guys what is actually going on here. We've got a pretty big advantage for Asura Rage. Blood.
Yeah.
You're
Asura Rage.
You're nice.
Yep. Yeah, you're nice too. Asura Rage got a lot off of that, it seems. It seems like they got a good fight, they got an OP, they got another pick, and they just backed away with the Gideon Portal, and overall, they seem to get a huge lead. So we'll see if they can abuse this much. With their new OP, they should have the crunch winning matchup against Regal still. It should still be favourable. And we'll see how Guile play on the defensive here against this OP.
I almost feel like I need to play on the
Fangtooth
defensive against this replay system, but yep, the Fangtooth will be taken by Asura Rage here, and Guile, they're in a position that they definitely were not even close to being in game number 1, where Asura have the advantage on the map, and they're really the ones with the aggression here.
Yeah, Asura have definitely played very well from Dawn side, likewise Guile did in game 1. Seems the teams both favour this side in particular. They definitely seem to show a lot of aggression towards the Fangtooth, and Snowball offered the first one, giving the huge gold lead. So you see them take the T1 tower on left, you see they do the 4-1 split. Appy Picker being a bit slow in his push, Rico's keeping him at bay, and we actually see Ghost is picking up Black Buff here. I'm wondering what he's trying to do with this when he's on the other side of the map.
I think it's
Might
just
be
to
giving
pick
up
it
a
up.
T2.
It does give them a little bit more of an advantage if Guile Esports can hold off until Ghost can get there, but it's going to be taken a little bit too fast, and you can see how fast Drongo actually takes down these towers. A very strong pickup for a team that is being so aggressive here, and now you can kind of start that slow burn, trying to get the rocks, trying to get the stuns out from Asura so that Guile are weakened when it actually comes to a fight.
Yes, they're quite happy with the tier 2 off of this. They do seem to be backing away already. I presume they're going to clean out some green side jungle here. Be happy with the T1, T2, and then actually another T1 by Appy Picker, who had the strength in the 1v1 there, especially with the OP. And we'll have to see what they look to set up for their next push, because they need to maintain pressure here if they're going to look for an inhibitor off of anything.
Yeah,
probably a pick first, though. But yeah, Guile definitely need to...
a little bit of control of the lanes, I guess, right?
Yeah, definitely. Guile need to get some sort of slow push pushed on one lane, like probably the right lane now where they lost the T2, get the pressure back there and look for a good fight, because they don't want to get too far behind here and lose any more objectives for free.
Yep, so they might be going for the fight right now, as most of the lanes are in equilibrium other than the mid lane. Just trying to protect these towers as much as possible, try to stop that gold lead from going even further over to Asura. Guile Esports is trying to group up here, looking for their kind of fight.
Yeah, they're definitely just looking for a nice siege here. They're looking for maybe a pick, a little misstep from Guile to go a bit too far forward here, maybe use the Grux. They got both their frontliners on the side, so they could get anything off of this. A good poke coming out of Gideon there from Ninja. And yeah, they have no reason to rush too hard. The lane will push towards them on left. They got the lane pushing for them in favor on right, though. And they seem quite happy to just maintain this siege until they can get something. Or until Fangtooth comes up, perhaps.
Definitely biding their time here. Both teams really without anything better to do other than pushing down this mid lane. Now the minions are going to start to create a little bit more pressure on that right side, which Guile are going to have to take care of eventually. Should be easy for Regal to clear that out, but he seems like he really wants to stick around here in the mid lane. But with the disengage from Asura, he is free to go over and get a little bit more farm from the right lane, as the rest of Asura will go for the Fangtooth.
Yep, Asura will be happy with this. They got a nice bit of pressure on mid. They had right lane pushing in, which means the other team has to answer it, go after answer, and allows them to pick up a free Fangtooth off of that, and then their carry can also pick up all the farm. They'll probably lose the tier 1, but that doesn't really mean much at the end of the day here. Tier 1 towers are basically paper and aren't going to stop much. So you see Moxplode looking for a pick.
Yeah, he's looking for a pick here. With the Drongo putting so much pressure onto the objectives, we'll see Idok picked up inside the jungle, smash and grab with a black hole on top of it. There's no way for him to get out. I feel like
that might be a bit overkill.
Maybe a little bit. I feel like Drongo's just been doing a lot of work for Asura Rage here. Since they've been ahead, they've been able to put a lot of pressure onto the objectives, and that makes the Drongo a really good pick for them here.
Yeah, they've utilized him very well with his tower shredding of the rad rounds, and when he does get ahead, he can do a lot of work. And the silence from his kit is very good with the Grux and the Narbash. You have CC to set it up, so that they can't really escape after the CC ends. Moxplode maybe being a bit overly aggressive here.
He did get stunned up by the Ricochet stun, but it seems like he's healthy enough for this one. Smash and grab won't hit. He really has to get back here, and Guile may decide to go on in. They're going to get the ultimate by the Fae, and here comes Regal in the middle of everything, clean up somebody. And Kwang is just going to respawn for them here, so it is a 5-on-4 power play for for Guile.
Yeah, a bit too overly aggressive by Moxplode there, going a bit too deep on the inhibitor. They needed to bide their time a little bit more, but I guess if Idok being down, they wanted to try and rush that inhibitor. Off of that, they're just going to have to play passive now. This gives Guile time to set lanes, and then they can make a proactive play, essentially. Prime is coming up soon. I presume we'll see the supports go board this soon, so the other team can't just sneak it away when it does respawn. Both teams do have good Prime taking potential as well, with the Wukong on one side and Grux on the other. They can tear it down pretty quickly, so without vision, yeah, that's an objective that can just disappear.
Yeah, and in fact, it does disappear from our replays on occasion, which is great. I would like to see the teams try to put a few more wards around that area. I feel like just controlling Orb Prime and the Prime Guardian at this point in the game is very important for the teams.
Definitely. The main way you're going to break a siege here is with the Prime. You need to actually push through, and you need the regen to do so. You can just out-sustain the defending team. It does look like Moxplode is being very far forward here, looking for a pick, so they can rush this OP. They definitely have the advantage here. They've got the group numbers and such, but the far lane is set for the side of Guile, so Asura have to keep an eye on that. And as you see, they're going to rush down the objective because they need to get it done soon before that actually becomes a threat.
Yeah, Asura definitely want to go for the straight engage. They're all working as a team here. Moxplode will get the smash and grab on the other side of it, and the Prime Guardian goes the way of Asura Rage. Now, what can Guile Esports do on the backside of it? Moxplode's going to get a kill all on his lonesome, and here comes Ninja. He has the black hole available. Smash and grab isn't going to hit Azzy, and that's going to allow the Fae to get the kill, but he's been slowed down by Old Rusty, and there's not a whole lot that we can do here. There's a black hole dropped on top of it as well, and all that Asura have to do is watch as they clean up the other team with the help of the Prime Guardian buff.
Yeah, very, very well played there. Good use of the Gideon ult to get another pick off of all that. And yeah, all around, just a good team fight, good secure, good zoning. Moxplode played really well there. They had a good Drongo silence to keep the Wukong from getting into the pit. So all in all, just fantastic play there from Asura around the pit. And yeah, very confident play.
What a beautiful game from Asura Rage. Going in for the core right now. Pretty easy for them with the buffing of the Orb Prime, and Guile Esports, they looked really good in game number 1, but they will get bested here in game number 2 by Asura, and it will be the Dusk side that falls in this one for the second time in the series.
Yeah, these junglers definitely having real impact on their comfort here, as Idok losing his Rampage and falls down to Moxplode's Grux in this time, whereas the other way around, it was IDOT coming out on top and providing all the early pressure. And it's all about this pressure around Fang2 from the junglers really create this. So really well played by Moxclub this way around. And we'll have to see how they adapt their draft basically here, Guile, to maybe get Grux away from Moxclub again and maybe try and get their Rampage back, or we'll have to see how they adapt.
Yeah, there is so much pressure created by each of these teams, and this series has really been about the junglers shining, as you talked about, and I think you might be a little bit biased towards them. Being a jungler yourself, you can kind of see the advantages that each are creating for their team, but still, both these teams are so fantastic to watch, and I can't wait because we're going to a game number 3, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to go the distance in this set. And after yesterday's matches, it's definitely refreshing to see teams that are so close in skill. For now, though, if you guys are taking a look at the match arena, you can see it at the bottom right of the screen. Make sure you keep using those codes and getting those donations in. Thank you to Lick My Read for the $51, Blue Shirt 38 for 26, and Leon T. Leon, he's putting in 20, and then the Create, I believe, has put in 5 and says, so glad we finally have some comp again and regularly. Well, I'm glad as well, and thank you to all of you for getting the money in there for the players, because we don't take that. That goes directly to the players, and every single cent of it will go to them as well. So thank you guys for supporting the competitive scene, and thank you for getting the money for those Happy Meals. Blood, we got a game number 3 coming up. Let's just get to a break and get set up for it, because that break in the middle of this game, it's got me ready for some more Paragon.
Yep. Damn right.